So with you saying that, you know, the White House has put the National Guard in Washington, D.C., and has threatened to say that maybe we can look at Baltimore, Chicago, and maybe some other cities. So since you say that it's not safe here, if you were mayor, would you allow the National Guard to come here on the streets of Charlotte to make things better?
That's a great question, Dedrick, because I was actually getting into that. That's why I feel that the mayor's response was more than inadequate. She talked about the victim once, then talked about kind of mental health, and then never showed out a clear plan for how she's going to address that. When the President of the United States is looking for excuses to put National Guard on the streets, a high-profile murder like this is something that is going to give him the excuse to do that. You know, Elon Musk tweeted about this. He tweeted about this to Spencer Merriweather, our DA, what's going on with this. So this is not just a Charlotte thing that's just in our little bubble. This is a national thing. And so when we sit there, I actually had it kind of was a little bit weird. I had a person come to my website, put a message in there a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, that asked me that same question when the National Guard went into DC. What can we do? What can you do as mayor to do this? And she wasn't asking that as a, I've asked everybody else. This was, I think you're the one to answer that, which I thought was a little odd. Why as me as a candidate for mayor is having to sit there and assuage a person with all these concerns? And part of the reason is because the mayor, you can't reach the mayor. She's got a campaign going on, no campaign website, no way people can sit there and reach her to ask these questions that they're concerned about. And so I had to sit there and tell her, well, it's a little bit different with DC because it's a federal jurisdiction versus ours. But just you're talking about Baltimore, Chicago, it could be that way. And so again, I think it's important to understand is if those things happen, do you want as a citizen of Charlotte, a former Marine in that mayor's office to push back on there, or someone who, again, you know, is more comfortable going to parties than being out with the people?